All right, before I switch out the chair, let's do the intro for this. So once again, for the second year in a row, we went to go see the Pay to Get Out Festival at the Cinema Arts Center in Huntington. Look at this. Look at this. Oh my God. For those of you who weren't here for the last time, here's how the rules went. There are 13 hours of horror movies, one right after the other, from 9 o'clock at night until it ended about 10:30 in the morning. We showed up at 9 o'clock, and we were prepared this time.
Last year we were not. We kind of all came in with like a bottle of water. We're like, we got this. Meanwhile, people were walking in with like
buckets
coolers
of chicken
and like blankets and sleeping bags. And then this time,
so I'm sure someone pitched a tent.
Yeah. A bunch of people came in with blankets and like they were sleeping through some of the movies, and they had themselves like laying across like 3 or 4 seats in the theater. It was as fun as you could expect it to be.
Which is funny considering the armrests don't go up or down.
No, they were just kind of there and they just dealt with it.
Yeah.
You know, more power to them. They got much better back support than I will ever have in my life. But, okay, so the evening started in a kind of weird place because the first movie that we saw was Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
Here's a superhero with the biggest pair of all.
You looking for me?
There she was, just walking down the street.
first time seeing it.
First time seeing anything with Elvira, actually.
Not very horror, I'd say, but more comedy.
Yeah.
Very campy.
It's incredibly campy.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the hell out of it, though. I thought it was fun.
It was funny, and
So many puns per minute.
I couldn't keep up.
So many sexual innuendos.
Dude.
Like innuendo.
Well, innuendo's already an innuendo, but the movie was fun. Like, it was a good way to kind of, like, at least, like, get the crowd warmed up.
She's normally the host of, like, you know, horror movies, not the starring attraction.
Yeah. I mean, she carried herself pretty well. It played to her strengths. It was a good, nice, fun movie. I would recommend people go see it. It was fun. We jumped from that to Hellraiser.
Hellraiser, a film by Clive Barker.
We'll tear your soul apart.
Right now, almost 1 o'clock. We just finished Hellraiser. We're actually out in the parking lot right now.
They're pizza.
They're kind of stingy towards the food you could bring in this year. So I actually went out and I got a pizza and just left it in my car. So we're just gonna.
People bringing in like whole things of chicken.
Not like last year. Yeah.
A lot more people this year.
Yeah.
There's a lot more.
It's very hot in there. It's very crowded, which is good. Like, I'm glad that they got like a lot more people in. It's good that people are actually coming to see this stuff. We just got out of Hellraiser, and it's still awesome.
That was of all the movies that are playing tonight, that was the only one I've seen, and just that last 10 seconds with the dragon, man, I mean.
That got me too. I never understood why that.
Not needed.
They could have just had it just be the homeless dude just walk away with it.
Rob Zombie does not need to be a dragon.
We were making fun of it the whole time, saying that it was just Rob Zombie just walking through the production.
You want to listen to Astro Creep, guys? You want to help me dig through the ditches? I hear that theater is more humid than humid.
Damn it, Jesus.
Oh my God. Alright, that wins everything. We're gonna go back in soon. I can't top that.
I think it's a great movie, and seeing it in the theater is really good. I love seeing all these in the theater, which is why I'm going to keep going to these things. And that was never more apparent than with Creepshow 2.
But if you only make it to one scary film all year, make it one you remember all year long. Creepshow 2.
That was fun. I mean, like, I had never seen Creepshow. I grew up with, Tales from the Crypt. So then I'd always heard of Creepshow and I meant to see it, but I never got around to it, like many movies. But we won't go on that tangent. So finally seeing Creepshow in theater, it was fun. It was worth the wait.
I actually saw Creepshow 2 when I was a kid. It gave me nightmares.
There was one specific part of it, right?
The one specific part with the lake and the, like, smog monster, whatever the hell it is.
It was like the puddle monster. Of stuff that kept following them?
Yeah.
It was like a proto, like, black, like, the blob that was only on the lake.
It terrified me as a child.
I can see why. Like, it kind of stands out in that whole thing.
Yeah.
Where, like, I had seen, like, bits and pieces of that movie, but never the whole thing at once. I had seen clips from The Raft. I had seen clips from The Hitchhiker. And I had seen clips from the first one with the wooden Indian. but I had never seen any of them in its entirety. The raft is terrifying.
Yeah.
Like
compared to the Wooden Indian, which is just kind of just,
you also like saw where that was coming, like a mile away.
And the hitchhiker was just funny.
Yeah.
Like the raft is it's ridiculously terrifying.
It really is.
It definitely, you were on the edge of your seat. You felt your heart pumping, especially at the end when there's just the one guy left, and he gets to the edge. And he's
bitch,
like,
you should have kept running.
And
dumbass, he made fun of it, and then he made fun of the friggin' smoke monster, and then it swallowed him. Dumbass.
You're on the edge. That means he can still get you. Keep running. Dumbass.
Clearly, he thought that he had gone far enough when he was within wading distance of the pool
He
water.
was 6 inches from the water.
I'm curious if the water could have kept going up shore.
Probably could have.
Because remember, with
I don't think so.
When they were on the raft and they woke up that next morning and the girl was lying there and it kind of came through
It came through the board,
yeah,
but it was still technically in the water.
Yeah.
It has, if I remember it right, it has to stay in the water.
Yeah. I don't know the logistics behind it. All I know is that it was really creepy.
Well, they don't really tell you go too far into it, but you get the idea that, it can't leave the water.
Yeah.
Reese is bowing out.
Reese is bowing out.
I got shit to do tomorrow.
He's got con stuff to do tomorrow, so he's going to be bowing out of this. We will be holding the fort up from here.
Second year in a row.
Hopefully next year, I don't have crap to do the next day.
No?
Well, I do. We all have crap to do, but you know what?
Yeah, I gotta be up early as hell,
There we
as
go.
usual.
We will see you guys after Leatherface.
Have fun. Goodbye. I'm leaving.
Later.
Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
I'd never seen it, and this is where I started nodding off, and I'm kind of upset I did because I'd only seen the original Texas Chainsaw. I'd never seen any of the sequels, so I was like, all right, I finally get to see the sequels, and then I fell asleep.
You really don't need to see
Yeah, but it's for completion's sake.
So we just got out of Leatherface, which was Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
First time seeing it.
Yeah, it's fun. Fun movie.
I finally fell asleep, so
Yeah.
I missed part of it.
I hate that every violent thing in the movie they cut away from. Like every single minute of violence they did not show on screen. Don't know if you got that.
I was in and out.
Yeah.
But yeah, even thinking about it now, even the finer, smaller details.
You
just
didn't
were
see
very...
the chainsaw do anything in a Chainsaw Massacre movie.
What a
Shame.
concept.
Yeah. We got halfway through here. It's 4 a.m.
Yep.
We've got another couple movies coming up where there's going to be very little breaks in between, so we might not get to film a lot of stuff. But next is House.
Horror has found a new home. House.
The sun is coming out. You can kind of see it. We went back to the car because I need another slice of pizza. But we just got out of House.
That's alright.
It was campy. It was fun as hell. George Wendt was in the movie, and as soon as he popped on screen, everyone in the crowd shouted, "Norm!" And it was hysterical. It had some cool character designs. It was a little weirdly paced. I feel like it could have been half as long. They could have cut out a lot of stuff in that movie, but it was fun.
My biggest complaint was there are times where it's the main character's having flashbacks, and sometimes you can't tell when he's having the flashbacks, when it's in the present moment, and it just got so jumbly. But
Yeah.
like you said, it had some laughs. Admittedly, I started passing out again.
Yeah. Kept the energy up enough, though. Next is Blood Feast. For the record, it is now 5:30 a.m.
5 hours to go.
I don't know whether this is considered legendary or just old and bloody, but Blood Feast was playing, and it's the only one out of all of these that we went to go see that I would just say I wouldn't see again.
I honestly don't remember
Not
a
bad.
single thing from Blood Feast.
It's basically about a guy who basically tortures and kills people, and he runs like a butcher shop.
The dinner, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was totally out for.
And like he's telling all these people he's basically giving like this bratty teenage girl like a dinner, and he's catering her party. But he's like, we're gonna give you a fantastic Egyptian feast.
I remember that.
They did it where he actually like cut up body parts, and he like tried to make it like a cannibal dinner, and it was dumb and bad and not fun to watch. It was the worst thing to see at like 5 or 6 a.m.
Remember Masters of Horror?
Yeah.
The Washingtonians?
I would have killed if they had played the Washingtonians. I love that one.
That's what I'm getting the thought of.
Oh my god, that would have been incredible if they had done the Washingtonians.
Blood Feast was bad.
I was asleep.
Never saw it before. Not a fan. Had some funny moments though.
Acting was terrible.
Probably have to watch it again, like in a not 5 a.m. atmosphere.
5 a.m. It's 6:46 a.m.
Time for the stuff.
The stuff. You have been warned.
I had hopes for this one, but like every time I fell asleep and I woke up, it was still going. Like it had me for like the first half hour, and then I don't know. I lost interest in it. I don't know if it was because the movie was just too long.
It's a long ass movie.
It was like 2 hours.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not that it was bad. It just was.
So not Buff.
No, not Buff the Stuff, like the movie The Stuff. The woman in front of us was like openly snoring during the stuff.
How did you know that? Well, that's why the original tests were done by the Food and Drug Administration, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am. That's how we heard about it.
She had like the most obnoxiously loud snore,
God.
and she would go.
Oh, those are the worst.
Like at the most inopportune times. Like someone's like, "You mean that anybody could be infected?"
All right, that makes it even funnier.
Because then it's like the cameraman just has a stuffy nose. I like the stuff. I think it's really funny. I love how it like basically parodied 1980s culture, because it was basically like the whole process behind the stuff is the plot behind the stuff is, what if Soylent Green was an alien instead, and it took place in the 80s. So the stuff is like a parasite that people get addicted to if they eat more of it. And it's everywhere, and it's all people eat. And eventually the stuff comes alive. It kills a whole bunch of people in some really creative, gross-ass ways. The guy who plays Paulie in Goodfellas plays like an army general, and he's really, really funny. Like, I don't remember much of what he said, but I remember laughing a lot when he talked.
So this year was kind of more like horror comedies.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, like, it did set the tone a lot it was a lot more in line with the campy stuff this year.
Well, with the exception of Hellraiser, except for the dragon at the end. I don't know if that's the only campy part, but...
Hellraiser gets campy in some parts.
Yeah.
But it's not... It still takes itself pretty seriously. This one didn't take itself seriously. Oh my god, the sequels to Hellraiser are awful. Oh my god.
Never seen them.
So bad. That's a movie night we don't have to spend.
No, I think we do. But I want
We really don't.
I'm tired of bad horror movies.
You made it through until the end of the stuff.
And then I stayed for like the first couple of minutes of the mystery movie.
Which was Night of the Living Dead.
More shattering than your strangest nightmare. Night of the Living Dead.
Good way to end, but
Yes.
at that point I was tired. I had something to do the following day, which I don't remember, and I bowed out. I should have, as I was driving home, I'm like, I should have stayed and done 2 years in a row.
I would have bowed out, but apparently that $10 meant a lot to me, so I just kind of stuck with it.
And it's Night of the Living Dead. So.
It's not like I was struggling through it.
Yeah.
They've been very good with the surprise picks. Last year's was The Fly. The year before it was Evil Dead 2. We didn't go to that one, but I did read about that. So they picked good ones for that. And I'm glad that they picked a classic with that. So we went outside and It was 10:30 in the morning.
I was already at my event killing the Jedi.
I'm really happy for you. You have no idea. But it was a fun year. Like, I don't think we've been disappointed yet going to it. Next year, we can only hope that it stays fun and they pick movies that maybe we've heard of.
Yeah, like, I'll admit, this year's lineup I liked a lot more than last year's. Not that last year's movies were bad. It's just, I don't know, there was just a different vibe and feel with their selection this year. I don't know if it was because I was familiar with some of it, or it just kind of kept the energy with the audience going, or that more people stuck around. I felt like last year, within like 2 movies or so, people were kind of dipping out. I think it was just the 2.5 hours of Grindhouse trailers that...
That's what really killed that.
That's what killed it the entire first time.
Yeah.
Is that there was an hour and a half of trailers in the middle of everything, and it just did not let up, and people were just passing out in the side, and they didn't really care about any of the movies afterwards. So we're going to try and go again next year.
We will go again next year.
Yeah. Don't plan your slaughtering Jedi stuff around this.
It's not my fault. I do this for charity, and I have events those weekends.
You and your charity. When will you learn that sitting in a room for 13 hours and watching horror movies is better than giving?
It is 10:30. It is Sunday morning. 13 hours later, last man standing is going home. I am going to go to sleep, and it is going to be glorious. Good night.
I guess we might as well stay here because we're just going to be doing the next video, so.
Might as well. Just see you next time.
Next time we're going to bring up a topic we started last year, which is great scenes from bad horror movies.
I'm still your captain, Foster. You must treat me with respect.
It was fun, though.
From what I remember.
You okay there, buddy?
Shut up.
Yeah.
Trying to nap.
All right. I guess I'll crop you out of this.